Oh, you didn't know? Your ass better call somebody! This podcast proudly presents to you the zero-time tag team champions of the world, the Road Dogg, JJ Brownlee, the badass, JB Faulkner, Total Spotfest Live, with the ninth wonder of the world, Nick.
And welcome back to Total Spotfest Live. I am JJ Brownlee, and by my side, as he is every time, is the illustrious Jamie Faulkner.
Hello.
And we are, of course, accompanied once again by the man, the myth, the meh, the ninth wonder of the world, Nick.
What's up?
The meh.
I like that. I like that
shirt. We need to make shirts that say that.
You know what?
Jamie.
I would rock one. Just let me pick the font. That's all I ask.
Nick's so meh, he thought Cesaro really was a part of We the People.
That'd be like my own personal B-team shirt. I love it.
Oh, that's a wow.
Nice.
Throwback. Holy 2018 Batman. Okay.
I know, right?
Well, we got another great show for you guys here. So once again, thank you for joining us. Join the conversation. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter. That is at Total Spotfest on Twitter. YouTube is Total Spotfest Live. Just give it a search inside of the YouTube search box. Comment, like, subscribe, and tweet us as much as you want. We got AEW and NXT for this past week that we'll be discussing. There's an announcement, too, coming up for the women's tournament, the AEW number one. I'm not even going to start because it's too damn long of a title. But the women's tournament coming again on Monday on their YouTube channel. So yay for that. Lots of good stuff going on here. So how you guys doing? How's your days been so far, guys?
Doing pretty good, man. Doing pretty good considering. Weather's been awful, but the sun finally came back out.
It got up to 25 today here in Kansas City. I took that day off of work. I was driving around. It felt like springtime almost. You know,
Bust out the shorts.
This time of the week always feels like springtime too, because we get to come into Thursdays after having watched the two good shows, NXT and AEW. So
yeah,
this is always like, it's nice. This is why we do it. This is why we do it.
Jamie, your week's been good. I know you've been working your butt off this week.
I have, but you know what? It's pretty damn good. And you know why?
Why is that?
No one got pregnant by Ric Flair on Wednesday.
Nobody. Ric Flair's sperm has been subsided for the past few days, so thank God for that. Please be. I mean, it is cold, so down in Georgia. So who knows? Is he where he lives in Atlanta? So he might be sperming people up. Okay, I'm gonna stop with the sperm jokes. Let's get right into it. So Jamie's gonna start us off with AEW this week as we inch closer and closer to Revolution. Jamie, why don't you take it away?
So AEW was pretty solid this week. It again, to your point. You can't always perform at top tier 5-star matches all the way across. It had really good matches. There's some highlights in there I really want to go over. But, I mean, overall, solid show. How solid, you say? It barely edged out NXT, and I'm really looking forward to your breakdown of NXT because it's the Fallout show from Vengeance Day.
Right.
But AEW starts off Riley shoots Adam Hangman Page and Money Matt Hardy versus the Hybrid
Nick's favorite Hardy, by the way. I just want to point that out.
It's by far the best he's ever done creatively.
Yeah. So I want to say this. The Hybrid 2, technically, if you want to be technical, is one of the shittier tag teams in AEW, and they're still amazing. Like, AEW's got a good problem, just like NXT's got the good problem with the women's division. NXT's got the good problem with the tag team division. The problem is they keep trying to add more to it. It's like, just build with what you got. You know, like, we don't need... I'm finally moved over to we don't need MJF and Jericho as a tag team. going for the gold.
Really?
Well, I want them
welcome.
together.
Welcome.
I want them to be together, but not going for
But in the
gold.
title hunt, though, that was my argument. That's
Yeah.
my whole argument from
Okay.
the Battle Royal.
Well, I now see the error of my ways, and as the salt of the earth, I will do that. Wait, that's not my line. But anyway, if you want to, you could go back to one of our previous podcasts when we were talking about the breakdown of the battle royale, and they won, and I was all hyped for it, and these two were not. Anyway, so let's move on to this match. Adam Hangman Page, Matt Hardy. It wasn't a very long match. It was a good match. I will definitely say that. It ended with the Hybrid 2 losing to Page and Matt Hardy. Big shock there. Nothing really in the match, I think, stood out as a, oh my goodness. You know, there was a couple decent moves here and there. Powerbomb here, you know, buckshot lariat there, you know. But overall, it was a solid match. But the thing is, the match wasn't the important part of this, because now we have the fallout from last week's AEW, where Matt Hardy rented out the bar, and then they're drinking, and he hands them the contract that's going to make both of them lots of money. Well, you know, Adam Hangman Page brings out his contract, and then they both sign it, and it gets executed. Whatever, and then they have that fallout because Matt Hardy's like, "Oh, I'm making a ton of money off of you now," blah 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 blah. And then the great thing about that to me was Adam Hangman Page going, "A man once told me you should always have a roll of paper in your pocket," and that is
Loved that. That little dig. I love that.
and it was as a nice call out to Brody. Rest in peace, Brody. You know, so that was a really good thing. And then he's like, "Well, you already got executed. Well, somebody in the back, lawyer in the back, bring it out for us, and let's see what you really signed." And they had the Jacksonville Jaguar mascot come out.
Home of the Jags.
Yeah, they suck. But hey, you know, they're gonna get the number one pick.
When your owner owns the Jags, and that's where all your shows are.
Yeah.
you get to say home of the Jags in every single one of your telecasts, JR, because they pay your bills.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. So anyway, he comes out. They look at the contract. The contract basically states that at Revolution, Adam Hangman Page and Money Matt Hardy are gonna go at it, and the winner of it gets the loser's first quarter winnings. So it is what we like to call a money match. Thoughts?
Originally, it was just that if Hardy lost, that
Yeah.
Hangman would get that. But then they agreed to the stipulation while in the ring there that, you know, first quarter versus first quarter of a true money match.
Yeah. And I think that's funny because even if Adam Hangman Page loses somehow, he's like, "I ain't got no money. I blew it all on beer," you know, which would be the best
Right.
answer. But
Right.
so then, you know, some fighting breaks out because the Jaguar mascot was actually one of the guys from Private Party. Knocked him over, and then they started wailing on him.
This is my favorite part when Matt Hardy goes.
What?
He just goes, "Beat him, Isaiah." You almost don't catch it, but it was great. I loved it. He said, "Beat him, Isaiah."
Then the Hybrid 2 join in, and then guess who comes?
He offers a Hybrid 2 $3,500.
Yes, $3,500
$3,500 to beat up Hangman Page. I was like, that's just like the get him Isaiah. I was like, he just throw those little quips in there, which is so masterful. I love Hardy.
Yeah, wonderful. Anyway, so guess who comes to save the day? Not the Elite. No, he's done with them. None other than the people who have captured our heart, and hopefully Maki Ito's too, in the Dark Order. It just was a thing of beauty. And I don't know if you guys noticed, I noticed this small detail. -1 had a new mask.
I absolutely noticed it. I almost tweeted it on the Total Podcast Live Twitter, because I I understand, whatever, but it just drove me crazy that he had this mask that didn't fit him. It's like, okay, someone get this kid a mask that fits him. And now, because Preston Vance is his favorite, so he's got this similar style with the white mask with the letters over the eyes. So he's got one eye that's like a slash, a dash for the negative. The other eye has the one going up and down. So much better. Kid looks good now. That other mask just was too damn big for his head.
I couldn't agree more with that statement.
Yeah, it looks like what's his name? Corey Taylor from Slipknot. It looked like his mask in the All Hope Is Gone album. It kind of reminded me of that.
It's like Nick trying to wear a normal size condom.
Oh, I don't even know what that means.
Wow.
I'll just take it as disrespect.
I don't know what you said to me.
I don't even know where to go with that.
No.
But it was great because, too, if you've watched Being the Elite, which, by the way, if you guys, anybody listening, and you're into AEW, you don't watch Being the Elite, get on the ball, get on the wagon here, because that skit internet show has become so tied into official, canon. It's fantastic. There was this thing going for the last 2 weeks that Five had been answering the emails, and I'm still waiting for my email. Five, God damn it!
Same
I
here.
have not. You haven't got your email yet?
Nope.
I sent that in months ago. Anyway, so he started answering emails. He's like, we got 400,000 emails here, and they're blowing him off because it's Five. Fuck Five, right?
Yeah.
So this past week, though, he said he found the Adam Page email and read it off. And the moral of the story, and that's, you go watch Being the Elite on YouTube, but the moral of the story was that they're going to be now these people that take everybody who are in darkness and give them order. That's the purpose of Dark Order. So for one, that's how they justify being face from a creative standpoint, if you would. And for two, it gives them this newfound push to go back after Adam Page. And I love that continuity. I love the throwback to the papers in the jacket. It was all good.
Yeah, I my favorite part, one of my favorite parts, was Adam Hangman Page's face when he saw the Dark Order. I think he sold it like I love you guys. He had the I love you guys smile on his face. Yeah, and then one of the big pieces of it too, I forgot to mention this, was Five and Matt Hardy in the ring, mano a mano, and Five was taking off his jacket I'm gonna fuck you up, and then of course he didn't because he's Five, but
Five.
but he was fighting for his man's honor. He's got a big man crush on.
I can see Five getting a push in the next couple years for real. He's very talented. If you go back and watch some of his pre AEW stuff, his indie stuff. I mean, he's got good skill. He's more of a high flyer. He's not. Even now, he's not completely polished. He's still got some work to do to kind of get there. But I think he's got the potential to be, upper tier. I don't know if could be a top guy up there with MJF and Sammy Guevara, for the long run. Mm-hmm. But I think he could be close. He could be right below it. I mean, hey.
He could be that second tier, the Intercontinental Champion tier level.
Right. I'm trying to think of what the analogy would be back from the Attitude days. I guess it would be Jericho who it would have been back in those days.
Jericho's top tier. You take that back right now.
Well, compared to where they had him booked, though, not so much.
He's more Edge.
There you go. Although Edge is booked about the exact same places as Jericho, so my argument still is valid.
Fuck.
It's okay.
I refuse.
All
to
that
see
aside. We're getting too far off topic. Yeah, we both agree. Yes. Okay. And Nick agrees too. He's just not chiming in here.
I do agree. No, okay. I was letting you guys take it.
Dynamite drop in.
I thought you were up. I thought you were.
See, this is why I was hanging back. This is why I was hanging back. I was trying to spare you from a moment such as that.
All right.
All right.
Go on.
Right. So
let's get back to it.
The next match. It was a damn good match, and the problem. This is a sad thing about this match. It was a really good match, and I have the thoughts of, oh man, what it could have been. This was the opening round match of the women's title eliminator tournament.
It's too damn long.
Yes.
Too damn long.
The women's championship tournament with Serena Deeb versus Riho. So I did not say a boom, 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 but Serena Deeb has been nursing along a bum left knee, like really bad. The internet, it was all over it. But previously, some of the dirt sheets have talked about like it's pretty bad. Like she had to wear a knee brace, everything. So her mobility wasn't fully there, and they actually gave her breaks during it. During the match, if you watch, like Rio just went over the outside, and then she went over to the corner to the doc to have the doc talk to her about her knee and everything. So she was fairly limited, but it was a technical just dream. Another one of those just excellence of execution style matches that we've talked about. Like it was a thing of beauty. It was great to see Riho, honestly. Like when she was first around, I was like,
you guys like Riho?
Well, so I'm gonna,
Well,
yeah. Because at first I didn't. At first I'm like, who the hell is this like 93-pound 12-year-old girl like who beat Nyla Rose? Like who's this lady? Like who's this? Yeah, like she looked like she was itty bitty. Like it looks like my 15-year-old daughter could kick her ass, which obviously that's not the case. But then she comes back. She came back, and I was excited to see her back. Like I didn't know what I had until it's gone, like the old 80s song. You know, who's saying that? It was a White Snake
hippie girl.
No, it was a hairband. You don't know what you got till it's gone.
no,
Cinderella.
Nick's talking about the original one. That came out like in the 7, like the
Joni Mitchell's what I was.
Joni Mitchell. There you go.
Yeah. Well, anyway, she came back.
I agree with you. I think that here's my thing with her is that I like her, but she is definitely one that she's got to be paired up. Like Jamie said.
Dude, she smashed herself with her own suplex in this match last night.
Oh, I know. Well, I mean, okay.
she destroyed herself. Like,
well, but she also, how much she wrestled in the past 11 months? She hasn't wrestled at all in AEW. She wrestled very little in Japan. I can't speak to that. I don't know, but I like Riho. She's one of those that if she's matched up, fine. If she's matched up well, it could be a good match. She had a couple like because I remember back in the beginning when Dynamite was kind of first getting its traction after its launch and all that, they used to do like triple threats and fatal 4-ways for the women's division for like the first like couple months, and she actually did really well in some of those because the focus wasn't solely on her. Like her versus Nyla Rose was just oh god, you don't buy it, you just don't believe it, when. It's so hard to put over somebody that small. The only one that's ever really been successful was Rey Mysterio that I can think of. I can't think of any other one that has been successful and convincing, of smaller stature person, smaller size person getting over. I think that she paired up well enough with Serena that it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. She seems like a nice person. I don't mean to be. I'm not trying to bring her down.
Did you do that? It's not you, it's me to Riho.
Yeah, I can't do it. You know what? Okay. All right. So not to make a whole thing of it, but she was the first person last night that did something that everybody else in succession did. And maybe it was just one of those things that I picked out, and once you notice it, it just stands out from that point forward. And I hate the crossbody. I can't stand it. I hate it so much because, number one, there's no impact to it whatsoever. You're basically sitting there. One person's going to stand in one spot looking dumb, waiting for the other person to climb to the top rope. And then they're just going to catch him and fall backwards. It's awful. Don't do it. I hate that move. I hate it so much. And Rio did it. The Butcher did it. I mean, can you imagine the Butcher doing a crossbody? But he did. And he did it. Ray Phoenix did it. Lance Archer did it. Io Shirai did it the other night. I hate the crossbody. I don't like it.
Okay.
I digress.
That's a take I didn't know I'd have to discuss. Okay.
It's because you guys know that you agree with me. That's why you don't know what to say.
Well,
you feel like you should say something, but you know I'm right.
I don't know because it's like saying well, I don't like headlocks. It's just one of those. it's not like a finisher for any real wrestler, so it's just a move. It's a move.
It's a part of the
Whatever.
repertoire, you know?
Yeah.
All right.
Whatever. I get you.
You guys enjoy your ride on the Rio train.
Okay. I'm not a number one Rio fan. Okay, but I generally think that she can be good, but she's got to be paired up well. Is my thing. So
let's just do this real quick. Rio wins, and a weird rolling, like they kept trying to pin each other thing, and it actually worked, and she got the count of 3. So Rio will face Thunder Rosa. Now that is a good pairing for her. Now, will
Thunder
she
Rosa
Thunder
makes
Rosa?
anybody. Thunder Rosa pairs
Yeah.
with anybody. She is masterful.
So that's okay. So that's my thing, and we'll talk about this, you know, in the other segment when we can talk about the women's tournament. But man, I'm looking forward to this because Thunder Rosa can do any style. She can work with anybody, you know. And Riho, she is not bad, but she's not one to carry a match. To your point, Thunder Rosa can. Like Thunder Rosa is on a different level than
All day long.
90%. But you know, technically, it was a beautiful match. It had an awesome cross-body dick. Nick.
It had a cross-body dick? That's a weird thing to have in a women's match.
Yeah. So, yeah, but a crossbody from the top rope. Like I even have that written down in my notes, which I think's
Oh,
funny.
you do?
Oh, did you really?
That's hilarious.
I wasn't even talking about. Anyway, it was a good match. I really think it would have been a better match if Serena Deeb was fully healthy, because I think then they could have really went at it. But still, it was up there for match of the night. I'm not going to give it the match of the night nod in my opinion yet, because we have some other bangers that are coming up. Any final thoughts on this match before we move on?
Nah.
Nope.
You said it.
Cool. So moving on, we have a filler match, kind of. This is a weird match of Orange Cassidy versus Luther.
Yeah. This would have been in the time that to go and heat up your spaghetti and get a beer. You know, it's like, okay, sure. I don't know. I don't hate Luther, but most of the matches he's in just feel like they're just there to eat time up. You know?
Yeah, he's the Brooklyn.
There were two cool things that I liked about this match, as brief as it was. I liked Chuck Taylor's Awful Waffle on Serpentico. That was
cool.
good.
That was cool.
Yeah.
And Orange Cassidy powerbombing Luther. You could tell it hurt his back to do it, but he pulled it off.
Yeah, I mean,
like those two things.
I think those were the only things that you could talk about for the whole match.
It's not. There's no feud with it. There's no long. It just was a match.
And if you're wondering who won this match, you don't watch AEW. So so Orange Cassidy won. I mean, I think the highlight of the match is Justin Roberts, you know, just introducing him, you know, weighing whatever, hailing from
wherever.
Yeah, it's like Jesus. Like I think that's it. Orange Cassidy. Yeah. So yeah, it sucked. Like, let's just call it for what it is. I felt like I was watching Raw for a hot second because it's that kind of match.
And I think this is the first indication. Like this was really weird. It was really out there. They didn't really address too much about this, but both shows, NXT and AEW, were affected by the deep freeze, the snow and the ice, because Orange Cassidy and Trent are in a feud with you. Miro, where's Miro live? Nashville, Tennessee. What happened in Nashville? About 8 inches of snow. So, you know, there were others that were stuck in Texas or something. So I think that this match was out of a necessity thing. It's like, oh crap, we got to have somebody go up there. Who's here? You know, Luther, you're going with Cassidy tonight. I think that's what it was, because it made no sense thematically, you know.
So
I do know.
Nice segue though, because Team Taz comes out, and Taz actually is the only person who addressed it.
Only one for both shows. He's the only one who actually legitimately specify.
Yeah, because he made fun of Sting because Sting came out with his snow, and he's like, "Yeah, you brought your snow out to Texas, and that's why Starks can't be here. Starks and Hobbs can't be here. It's just me and Brian Cage." Blah blah blah. Like in total Taz fashion. I love Taz. It was just Cage and Hook. I think that was the only two that were there with him. So anyway, they have this little quick squabble. Sting comes out and he's like, "You're nothing without your bat, Sting, blah, blah, blah." So Sting drops his bat. He takes off his jacket and then he punches Brian Cage in the face. Then they start fighting a little bit, and then Hook strangles Sting with his bat. And then next thing you know, he gets punched and kicked a few times by Brian Cage. And Brian Cage sets him up for a massive, and when I say massive, I mean massive fucking power bomb. And it looked like it hurt. Like, there's memes and everything out there of Sting's face. His eyes are cross-eyed. Like, it is a thing of beauty. Like, it looked like it really hurt. Like, legit.
He's sitting there thinking, like, I'm too old for this shit.
Yeah. He totally did go Murtaugh.
Dude, all I heard was Simon and Garfunkel. It was like, "Hello, darkness, my old friend."
Oh.
That's all I heard.
Well, that's getting morbid over there.
As long as he didn't go with the Disturbed version.
But he actually did something. Sting actually did something than just stand there and say nothing. He stood there, said nothing, and then actually fought a little bit. So, I mean, he did something.
His first
You
bump.
think somebody had to
AEW.
twist his arm to get him, too?
Yeah.
I mean,
Do what?
You think somebody twisted his arm? Said, "Sting, look, dude.
No.
I mean, you got to do something tonight."
I don't think so. I think that, I guess it's always the intention. I don't know. I can't. Who knows? I'm not in that writer's room, but I'm just happy he actually did something finally, because the whole come out, stand there, say a word, and then leave. It's just like, oh, it's cool for a week or two, but Jesus Christ, do something. So at least he did something.
yeah, super slow burn. Yeah. So now we come up to arguably match of the night. Like, we have two left, and this one definitely is up there. Is for the AEW Tag Team Championship. And that is the Young Bucks versus Proud and Powerful Santana and Ortiz of the Inner Circle. These guys have not wrestled by themselves in months, and it is a disgrace. They are so goddamn good. It is
Their
just
first
ridiculous.
shot at the titles.
Yeah, first shot since they've been there for what, 18 months? Yeah, ridiculous. So this is a hell of a match. There's nothing I can say otherwise. Nick, did you happen to get a chance to watch it? So we're a couple cross bodies, so a few.
Well, there were. These guys, I knew as soon as the match was billed that it was going to be the match of the night when you get those four guys in there together, and it delivered. I wasn't disappointed at all. It was fantastic. Love Santana and Ortiz. They are definitely overdue. And the Young Bucks, man, they always deliver. Always. So, fantastic match. I agree. It was the match of the night for me.
So
I would put it right up there. I think it's right with the match we're going to talk about after this. It is real close, but some of the moves in this, we've long said, and everybody on the internet agrees, is if you like tag team wrestling, AEW is the show that you watch, because this is prime example of it. Just an abundance of awesomeness and like a ridiculously monster doomsday device by the Young Bucks.
Oh,
and just
Jesus.
Some of the spots that both teams were doing, and I appreciate how they threw the rest of the dark order, rest of the Inner Circle out pretty quickly, because MJF's going to sneakily go in the corner and punch Nick Jackson in the face, and referee catches him right away and throws everybody out. So I appreciate that, because much like the Gargano match at TakeOver, it's nice to have it clean, because these four can shine when there's no other noise going on.
You don't get clean matches anyplace else. It's so refreshing.
Very rare.
So refreshing.
So two things. One thing that happened and one thing that didn't happen I want to talk about. One was the obvious MJF getting caught, so they had to get thrown out. Mm-hmm. That was 1,000% obvious. I love MJF. He sold it. Jericho sold it. It was great. That happened, and that evened the playing field. And I love that. The thing that didn't happen that kind of pissed me off, where's Tiger Style?
Oh,
he hasn't done that.
I was looking for that.
He hasn't done that in months.
I love his tiger style. That shit cracks me up every time I see it.
I did too.
Because I'm just right there with him, like, you know.
But dude, the only place you see it's his profile now.
Well, I think though what's awesome about Ortiz is that because that kind of fits, like, he does like different variations of his character. So if his character's being more comical, he does the tiger style. If he's being more hardcore and more like street, he doesn't, and he does more. He adapts his moveset and the persona around that in the ring and around the ring based on if he's going to be hard or not. And I'm just like, that's the sign of a quality worker right there on a wrestling company, that he can be, he it's not just, you know, the words and the action. Like, for example, Lance Archer, love him to death. He's the exact same guy, whether he's being the nice monster or the evil monster. Exact same moves. Very little changes in him, which is fine. I love Lance Archer to death. And actually, I like him better as a quote unquote face because, you know, whatever. But Ortiz is that's one of the things that I appreciate about him so much, is that he not only does it, but he manipulates it. So he won't do Tiger style if he's being like the super heel, but if he's being the more comical heel, he'll pull it out. That's also when he does like the big like Ric Flair like flop over, like he doesn't do that. Like, he didn't do that when he's like this, you know. He's very versatile. But I get where you're coming from, Judge Jamie. I do love Tiger style.
Yeah, I just wish I saw it. That's all.
No, I know. Always. Like a lion tamer, you always want to see it.
Well, it's not lion tamer level yet, but it's getting there. Like, guys, tiger style. It might come out one of these days. Uh-oh. You got me all amped up about it. All right, so a couple big moves. I do want to talk about this. Santana hitting that Falcon Arrow off of the top rope. Like, that.
Yeah.
One, that's ballsy as hell because that could not end well. And then two, it looked beautiful. Like, there's nothing better than a top rope move. Just like Kushida's, you know, Spanish fly into an armbar. This is just as sexy. I just love this kind of stuff. A top rope Falcon Arrow, like Kushida couldn't do it, and that's her finisher. You know? Right. Or not Kushida, I mean, Kairo Shida. Jesus, two Shidas. You know, then they hit the street sweeper. Santana and Ortiz did, and they got broke up at the last second by Matt jumping over the ref. I love that part. Like, this showed how much he wanted it, and that just had great storytelling. He's willing to go through the ref in order to get it. Well, it ends up with the Young Bucks retaining, and I'm okay with that for now. But I want this match again, and I want it in. I want the titles to switch hands, but the problem is they have FTR, they have all these other big heavyweights, and I feel like these guys are going to get pushed back down for no reason.
It's an abundance of riches. And the best thing they could do is do like Attitude Era S, like titles are changing hands all the time.
Yeah, like every Wednesday,
like bam, 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 bam. Which some people might find annoying, but if you do it for a short period of time, and you know you have like little spurts of that, what's the harm? Give somebody like a 3-week push. Oh God, now I feel like WWE all of a sudden. But like a 2 or 3 weeks with the title, switch it to another person, have them lose it the next night. You know, let's just mix it up. Let's play with it.
So you're telling me this is what we need to be fucking doing. We need to like just have Santana and Ortiz win it off of like a small package where they maybe grab the tights a little bit, you know, so it's not necessarily fully clean, and then they have it for like 3 weeks because, you know, we don't have as many pay-per-views for these guys, and then maybe we'll just have somebody else just take it off of them, you know, fair and square, or they get cheated too, and it's just a whole bunch of cheating going on. Yeah.
You just look for ways to bring Bruce Pritchett in. I think you secretly do like Bruce Pritchett, and that's the whole point of this. Is it's all front.
Here's the thing: you went there before I did. For the record,
it's not an exclusive idea to Bruce Pritchett. I mean, they did this in TNA. They did this. It's happened to all sorts of other types of promotions.
Well, Bruce Pritchard's been around the block for a hot minute. He wasn't solely WWE.
I'm I'm not giving him the benefit of creating every gimmick that's ever been created.
I mean, I'm going to give him the benefit of destroying every gimmick. That's exactly what I'm going to fucking do. Fuck that guy.
I will say one last thing about this match before you go forward is that I felt like the very ending was a little bit underwhelming, which is not bad, really, when you consider that all stuff going on there. He went by a back roll up.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, oh, that's how you end it. But it's kind of refreshing almost that you have that every once in a while to bring the levity down. You don't need to have the Metzger driver every single time be the ending for a Bucks match. You can have something else. So.
Yeah, and I think that's also additional storytelling, in my opinion. And Nick, I want to hear your opinion on this, but I think it also speaks a lot to Santana and Ortiz that you don't want to crush them with hitting it. Like, oh, it's over. Like, you want to make it seem like you barely slipped past them by doing something unconventional.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. And then, of course, Inner Circle came out back again right at that moment to kind of to do that very thing. But I think Santana and Ortiz are due. I give it maybe a month and a half, and they'll be wearing those belts. They're due.
I would love it, but they got to get through FTR first. But FTR is feuding with Jurassic Express, which I think it's pretty damn good.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we know that at Revolution, Jericho and MJF, like it or not, they're getting their shot at the Young Bucks. So after that's done, however it comes out, I think that you would have Santana Ortiz right there in the mix. FTR should be wrapping up with their Jurassic Express feud, and bring the Dark Order back into it. Bring Uno and Grayson, and you could have basically like a 5-team just free for all kind of interfighting amongst themselves for the next couple of months, and on the pay-per-view have a big blow-off match, like a 4-team ladder match for the tag titles or something stupid.
Oh, then you have to have Ray Phoenix and Pentagon Jr. in it.
Lucha Brothers. Oh, okay. Well, okay. We're getting too far ahead of ourselves, I think. But yes. Oh God.
Getting my nipples hard thinking about stuff like that. Man.
But I don't. I agree. I don't think they're out of it. How do we always come back to nipples? What is that?
I mean, they're accessible and they get hard when it's cold and exciting things happen. It's what they do. Well. I mean, I could talk about other things, but we're PG-13.
No, please. We passed that.
Oh, fair.
We passed that Nick's condom ago. Come on.
Yeah. We each have our barometer,
All right. So
I don't want to hear about Nick's barometer. Let's move forward.
So the next match, near and dear to our hearts, at least I hope, Matt and Mike Sydal versus FTR. FTR is back after their 2-week suspension of what they did to Luchasaurus and then kidnapping Marco Stunt.
Which I gotta say, it's funny that they only got an extra week tapped on for physically kidnapping a person.
Yeah.
Like you get property damage for someone's mask. Okay, it's equal to kidnapping a person. Okay, good to know.
So Matt and Mike come out. Mike Sydal is like we've talked about before. We're fans because of Enlightenment, his tag team that we've seen him with at Journey Pro KC. # bring you guys back. We love Journey Pro. We need you back in our lives. I need to yell.
Some Journey Pro.
Yes, I need to see the besties in the world. I need you in my life.
I need Gary fucking J.
I need Gary J. Gary fucking J.
Oh.
Absolutely. But anyway, digressing hardcore. So this match was not a very long match. Unfortunately, it did seem a little chaotic, everything like that. FTR did end up beating the Sydals. One of the big highlights for me was Mike Sydal hitting a moonsault from the top of the ropes onto the the floor, the outside. Thank you, Jesus. Just can't get it out.
Words.
Yeah, words are hard. So that was one of the big highlights of that. But overall, I mean, it was just meh.
It was a squash match, but I felt the Sydals showed good.
Yeah.
I mean, I like them together, and apparently they did this before because I wasn't aware that they were brothers. I never knew that. It's just the guy that I never, from Journey Pro, and then it's like, oh, that's his brother. Oh, okay. Oh, they used to actually tag together for years, so that makes sense. And it gives Matt Sydal something to do too because when they brought him in, it was supposed to be a bigger signing, and because of his flop on the Battle Royal, where he slipped trying to do the Shooting Star Press on the entrance to the Battle Royal, his introduction to AEW was just terrible from the start, and he's never been able to get out from under it. So this gives him something. Once again, it is just a battle of the riches. That's not the right coin of phrase, but you know what I mean. It's just like another tag team that. And they looked good, though. I mean, they looked good together, so it was a squash, but whatever.
So after the match, FTR go take the the first aid bag, get the scissors for cutting tape out, which if you ever try to cut hair with those, good luck. But they try to cut Mike Sydal's hair with it, and then Lucha Express comes out. So Lucha Express clears the floor, everything like that. They do some pretty good stuff in there. Luchasaurus looked jacked again, like always. Like, I love me some Luchasaurus. At first, I was like, "What the hell is the guy wearing a dinosaur mask?" And then, just like everybody in the entire world fell in love with the guy because he could move for a big dude.
We're gonna have to at some point in time do just a whole episode just as a throwback to like moments of maybe we get close to the 2-year anniversary. Talk about some of the best moments, like because the forming of the Jurassic Express was fantastic. How it happened, when it happened, it was completely out of the blue in the middle of we'll have to talk about that sometime. Like maybe we'll get close to the 2-year anniversary.
Yeah. So they clear it. And everybody, all the fans and everything, were doing the Jungle Boy theme, which is the Tarzan Boy song, for those who don't know.
So good.
The match kind of sucked, but the ending was good, and the Sydals, they did kind of show out, which I appreciated. But, again, it was just to make FTR look strong. That's all it was. And then they're setting up FTR versus Jurassic Express. I'm assuming at Revolution. That would make the most sense, at least in my opinion. Next week, though, we are going to get Jurassic Express against FTR with Tully Blanchard. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The geriatric Tully Blanchard is going to wrestle. You'd figure that they would use somebody else from Tully Blanchard's stable. Oh, man. Who is that? I think he says something about 10. Whatever happened to that guy?
Don't get me started on that. I don't know. I'm just baffled that Spears is not even buried. He's just absent. We don't even know.
He is 100% gone. Don't even know where he is.
I think he might just be enjoying life as Peyton Royce's husband.
Well, I would enjoy that very much, too, if I was Peyton Royce's husband. No doubt.
I mean, maybe that's his motivation right now. Like, whatever you want, Peyton. You're the bigger star. I'll do what you need. You don't know. I don't know.
I would show for her. I would do, yeah, but for sure. But I don't know. It just and we don't. I haven't heard anything. Like, I don't know if he's injured, like for real injured. Maybe. I mean, I don't think so.
Think he's on the lam?
I don't know. Maybe his wrestling school with Tyler Breeze is not going so well, and they had to hold up because Tyler Breeze has been absent everywhere except for up down. So maybe they robbed the bank to pay for their wrestling school. I don't know. I'm starting bad rumors now. Somebody stop me.
Jesus. All right. Well, anyway. Tully Blanchard and Jurassic Express. So it's not going to be just Jurassic Express of Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. We are going to get their Flavor Flav hype man, Marco Stunt. If anybody follows us on Twitter, you probably saw that we said, Marco Stunt is to Jurassic Express as Flavor Flav is the Public Enemy. Like, they're both hype men. That's what they do. They have their little moments, but eventually Marco Stunt's going to end up on a dating show and going out with some girl named New York. This is going to happen.
Yeah.
Marco of Love.
Oh my God. Yeah. Stunt love or stunt cock.
That's 2 weeks in a row we've had an Orgasmo reference. We are on fire.
It's all Greek to me. Gotta. All right.
TVDA!
Yeah. That's the name of their band. Anyway, so moving on swiftly, even though I started it, to the main event of the night. And it was a good match. Again, very close to match of the night with the Young Bucks and Santana and Ortiz. This was Jon Moxley, Lance Archer, and one half of the Lucha Bros and Rey Fenix versus the King himself, Eddie Kingston, and Butcher and the Blade with Bunny. It was a damn good match again. Like it was solid. It wasn't very long though. Like compared to what they've been doing with those guys, it was not near as long, but it was brutal. Like it had some stiff ass shots. It was just again, not very long. But it's not the story.
Man, Moxley cracked Butcher in the temple with an elbow, man.
Yeah.
He cracked him good.
And how about Archer taking... So, Archer and Phoenix played surprisingly well together. I could not... that was to me like that. I didn't know these two could function this well together. So, Archer had thrown the Butcher and the Blade outside, and Rey Fenix he's at the ropes, and Rey Fenix was going up to the top rope, and he's like yelling over at him and tells him to come over here. So he gets off the rope, goes over to Archer. Archer grabs him, choke slams him over the ropes. He does like a one half, like a full rotation spin, cross body over both of them outside.
Nick was less than pleased.
Nick was less than pleased, but
Yeah,
I just love
I didn't appreciate it at all.
But there's another time too. So like Archer was then trying to like powerbomb somebody or do like something off the top rope with one of them, and the other one, like I think Blade was coming up from the side from down below up to the apron, and here comes Phoenix, walks across the ropes and somehow jumps like a curveball around Archer to knock off the Blade. It's just Rey Phoenix is not human.
He's the truth, man. He's the truth.
Gravity defying.
Seriously.
Like, well put. He's the truth. Like, he had some spots in there, and he's had some spots lately. Like, his athleticism is off the blessed charts.
When he's fully healthy, there's not a better showman, I don't think. It's be hard pressed for you to put him up there with any other showman in wrestling in the world, because he is so good.
Yeah, and then when he's paired with his brother, I mean, to his own right, Pentagon is a hell of a showman too. Like,
Pentagon still got it. I mean, he's got a couple more years. He's a couple years older than Phoenix.
Yeah,
so he's got a little bit more wear and tear on him. Not much though, but
he's got the
when
charisma.
They're both
he's got. That's
definitely.
the difference. I think a little bit more athleticism towards Ray, more charisma towards Pentagon.
Well, Pentagon's a little bit harder too, so he's a little bit more the bruiser of the two. And they're both just ridiculous flyers, but definitely, you know, Pentagon's got more of that X Division or the cruiserweight style, or like the high flyer, the luchador, you know. Whereas Pentagon has that, but he's a little bit bigger, so he's got a little bit more ground and pound and can duke it out. And when they do like the slap offs, like the chest slap offs, oh my god, it's so stiff. Oh god.
So, speaking of stiff shots of the night, Eddie Kingston hits a back fist of the future on Moxley's face, and it connected. Like, I don't know if everybody saw that. I was like, oh shit, is he gonna drop? Like, his hit was like pop right in the mouth. And it's like his head moved and everything. I'm like, ooh. And that turned right into a paradigm shift to give Moxley, Archer, and Phoenix the win. Again, it was a kick-ass match. I enjoyed it. But the ending was bigger than this, because right after this, the Good Brothers from Impact show up again, and they start beating the hell out of Moxley, and everybody else is fighting amongst themselves. And then here comes Don Callis and Mr. Kenny Omega with his shiny boots. Like, I've never seen a pair of boots so shiny in my life. So he comes out, hits him with a V trigger. He hits him with two of them. And then, he's like, oh, I'm going to kick your ass. And I got this contract saying that we have a rematch. Tony Khan did this, so Revolution, you and I are going to go at it. But guess what? I get to pick the match. And I'm like, oh, great. I'm like, Iron Man match is the first thing that came to my mind. I'm like, fucking Iron Man match. Let's go. Mm-hmm. And then he's like, then he just threw me for a loop. At first I was like, what did he say? Because it was an exploding.
He built it great.
Yeah, exploding barbed wire death match,
which I didn't think I would see on a major promotion in 2021. Let's be honest.
And in American soil.
Mm-hmm. Well, they've come close before. I mean, TNA had those barbed wire massacres, which weren't exploding, but it pretty much was the same sort of thing. Mm-hmm. So, and there's been a couple of them out there, close to that, but yeah, what the fuck?
It's going to be amazing. It's going to be electrifying.
Yeah.
So for those of you who have never looked up or know what an exploding barbed wire death match is, one, Google it. It's worth a Google, but be very careful with how you type it. And then two, it's pyros connected to the ropes, which are now barbed wire. That's the easiest way I can explain it.
That's the foundation you gotta lay out there. The barbed wire.
The ropes are now barbed wire, like not wrapped in barbed wire.
It's not three. Not three strands of barbed wire either. Don't think it's that, guys.
No, it's like a spider web basically of a ton of barbed wire. There's no running the ropes.
A cacophony of barbed wire.
Ooh, that's a sexy word.
There's your big word, Nick.
Yeah. Suck on that, crossbody.
Cacophony.
Yeah. But, so, of course, the very first thing I did as soon as I heard that, I ran to Twitter and I looked up what Renee Paquette had to say about it. And she just put out the meme of, I forgot who it is. This is just like a mean mug face, like, you gotta be, like it had the you gotta
I think
be
it was
fucking,
Michael Scott from The Office.
Yes, like the you gotta be fucking kidding me look. And I was like, I felt bad for her because like she married a guy with a screw loose. Maybe he's a little bit, a fringe lunatic, if you will.
Going down there, yeah.
Yeah. But
the good thing, I'm not the biggest. I mean, I literally was sitting there in my head. I was like, "Holy shit!" We turned into CZW all of a sudden. If you don't know what CZW is, it's all deathmatch stuff. Google that too, and some of that stuff is make you cringe. Depending on your stomach straight fortitude. But what's interesting about these matches, and it's not my biggest cup of tea. I can get in a death match a little bit every now and then. But it's just kind of like the extras that are built around it. Like, generally speaking, especially the Japanese ones, which is where it kind of originated from. They have this, the ref is in this kind of like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's some sort of like grounded suit. They look like they're out of like Space Odyssey 2001 or something. It's like this big like silverish suit, or so, because the people who operate like a Tesla coil, that's what it is, so they don't get shocked or whatever. It's all for show. There's generally barbed wire covered plywood and barbed wire wrapped bats, which also have explosions on it. So it is a show of a match, and I really want to see how they do this, because like I said, I can't believe we're seeing this in America in 2021. Let's go.
Yeah. It's going to be amazing. It'll be the best thing since the last time we saw Kenny Omega fall into a bed of barbed wire.
Ooh, yeah, we watched that together, and I still remember that, like, all of us were kind of quiet because it just like it
looked like it was like just uncomfortably uncomfortable.
Yeah, we
I can't remember. What did they suplex each other into it or something like that?
Yeah, it was a superplex off of the stage onto the bed of barbed wire.
Yeah, I still remember that vividly because we get rowdy usually when AEW pay-per-views come on because it's a total Spotfest plug. But it's It's so good. I still remember how just cringy that match was, just because it just was so brutal and so hardcore. Like, you felt everything, and it was just tough to watch. It ended up being one of those tough to watch matches, not because it sucked. It's just because it was just like, ugh, one thing after another. It's like, that hurts.
Well, it's
me.
like one of Nick's favorites, Sabu. Like some of his matches, Nick has it as his background. You guys can't see this, but we're on Zoom here. He's got it as a background. Some of his matches, especially when he got up there, like when he got like later on, and then when he was in TNA for a hot minute, because he still he had no business still wrestling, but he's in shape enough to do it. But some of the stuff he would do, you're just like, oh God. Oh, I feel guilty watching this, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like I talked about, they tried this in TNA back in the day. They did the first Barbed Wire Massacre. I think the first one was him and Abyss. It might have been the second one. Abyss was in both of the first two, but it was him and an Abyss in one of the Barbed Wire Massacres. And I think I remember one of them they couldn't even show on the regular pay-per-view. They had to like tape it after everybody left the arena because there was so much blood and it was just ridiculous miss. But even at that, you watch some of his stuff and you're just like, oh my God, I feel guilty watching this. This is not right. That's like, how that moment felt with Omega last time. It was just like, oh God.
Like, you're exploiting yourself, man. You don't have to do this.
Like, that's too much. That's too far.
Yeah, you got too far. All right, so that was AEW. They did make an announcement for the women's tournament of Monday. They're going to be on YouTube. We'll go over that after we cover NXT. But final thoughts, guys. Nick, what was your match of the night, and was there anything that grabbed you in addition to that?
It was a good night. Young Bucks, Santana and Ortiz was my favorite, and it actually surprised me because I expected the final match to be my favorite. But no, it was the cleanest. I don't mind a botch here or there by any means, especially when you're doing really risky acrobatic stuff. I mean, it comes with it. But Young Bucks, Santana Ortiz was the cleanest all the way through. And keyword being clean, they, as Jamie correctly pointed out, they let them wrestle a clean match. Inner Circle really didn't interfere. They were in the periphery for a couple of seconds at the beginning and at the end. So we got what we wanted, what we deserved as fans.
Nice. JJ?
Okay. Match of the night, same for me. Young Bucks, Santana Ortiz. I echo Nick's thoughts. I see Phoenix and I'm like, that's going to be the bomb. But it was great. It was great. But by far the best match of the night was Young Bucks, Santana Ortiz. This one observation I had about a Dynamite this week is that it's starting to really get into that pattern of a typical wrestling show on par with the WWE NXT shows. I made mention of this last week, I think, about the promos. They're not just jam packing a match. That's really what Dark's for, you know, just a shitload of matches. So they had lots of promos mixed in there. I mean, they had one where it was Jade and Shaq. They were training for the Cody match. By training meant they were playing basketball, which I don't fucking, that makes no sense. Stupid. You know, and then another little spot there, cool spot, like Cody and Brandy revealed the gender of their girl, like, legit revealed for the first time, so that was cool. But you know, they've got this good kind of, they've found that typical correct balance, which is interesting. That it's about the same as NXT, the amount of promos versus matches now. 6 matches, same as the number of matches from NXT coming up. So it's just interesting.
Yeah, well said.
You know what I appreciate about AEW though, when it comes to the promos, is they keep them quick. WWE, it's an entire segment of just banter.
Oh, Raw's got 3 hours to fill. You got to have Ric Flair sitting there talking about his super sperm for at least 10 minutes.
God damn it! Don't go there. Don't go there.
You started this, okay? It was
fair.
you started this.
Fair.
Well,
I deserve
anywho, well, okay. Should I go?
Well, I wanted to go over my match of the night. If I could,
No, fuck you. Yeah.
Fair. All right,
JJ,
so,
are we giving Jamie a match of the night now? We didn't. I don't remember discussing this.
Know.
Well, you know what? You both could kiss my big white fat ass, hairy white ass.
Hey, Jamie, do you have a match of the night from AEW Dynamite?
I do. Thank you for asking. So, I'm right there with you guys. The Santana Ortiz and Young Bucks match was definitely the number one match. It had everything I wanted and then some, other than Tiger Style, which I will let it go because it was just beautifully clean. It was just beautiful. Everything was choreographed nicely, and it looked like it hurt when it needed to look like it hurt. It was just pretty. My move of the night was definitely Lance Archer chokeslamming Rey Fenix into a cross body. Wasn't going to be that, but now it is. So, just throwing that out there.
And if you want, hit us up on Twitter, at Total Spotfest, and make sure to hashtag crossbody for Nick.
Yes. Hashtag crossbody. We're going to try to make it trend tomorrow on Thursday.
I'm good.
It's on.
I'm good.
So, all right. That is everything for AEW. Let us know what you think. Hit us up on Twitter. Put us in the comments on YouTube. Whatever you need, just let us know what you thought about it. If you thought we were completely wrong, you just let us know. So, it is officially now time for us to cover the other show, was what I like to call it, but it's WWE's best show, NXT. JJ?
I know. Oh, yeah.
NXT,
Other shows is a
NXT.
slight. It'd be nice when it moves to Peacock. Like they're playing coy, but let's be honest. When the whole Peacock things happen, they're gonna move this, especially when it gets to be NHL playoffs and they find out that they don't get to air their show at all for weeks at a time because NHL's movie. If for those of you who had not heard, had lived on a rock or something, NBC is cutting NBC Sports. So all their sports programming, i.e. the NHL, which they have exclusive rights to, is moving to USA. So who suffers in that? NXT. But not really, because as Jamie made mention, it was just barely behind this week in the viewership numbers. I made the bold prediction after TakeOver that I thought NXT would actually win this week, and they came close. They're only down about 30,000 people, so they made a run for it, but ultimately AEW is still the better product. That being said, a decent showing. It'll be nice. It does them so much. I'm just going to kind of go here for a second because it does them so much benefit to be on a different night. Even if they're on Peacock and you could stream it and you can watch it Wednesday or whatever, like we used to do on the WWE network when NXT used to live there, it benefits AEW because now they'll go 1.2 million every week at least, if not higher. Mm-hmm. And because the thing is, most people out there that are into AEW generally are pretty much into NXT too, kind of. So I think that you'll get increasements for both. It makes sense for both. And Vince's ego is getting in the way. We're not going down that rabbit hole, but it was close. It was only down about 30,000 this week from AEW, so that's good. Starts off the show kicking right into it with Kyle O'Reilly. So he comes out to do his promo, and it's interesting because he starts off that he's not angry and he's not acting angry, and I'm confused as crap because I'm just like, okay, your whole faction's falling apart around you.
Got kicked in the mouth, man.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm not mad. I understand this. I just need to know what happened. And he's getting more and more perturbed as Cole's not coming out. Roderick Strong comes out once again playing that kid that's in between the two parents at the mall. And he's trying to defend Cole. He's doing the great analogy of brothers, how brothers fight, sort of thing, which everybody, I don't have a birth brother, so everybody knows that. Everybody who has a brother knows what I'm talking about. This is what I'm trying to say, brothers fight. So.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Kyle lashes back at him, and then here comes Finn Balor basically telling them both to piss off because he's got dibs on being mad at Cole or whatever. But Anyway, the predictable happened. They get jumped by Pete Dunne, Lorcan, and Birch. Guess what your main event for the night is? 6-man tag with those guys involved. So very WWE predictable for that. But yeah, it is what it is. Rigo does give an update on Escobar and Cross, and he cuts to a video of Santos Escobar, who is clearly, and Santos, I believe, lives in Texas, if I'm not mistaken, but is clearly in the middle of a snowstorm in a car trying to do a promo, and basically says that he's not going to come because he's not going to fight Caden.
Karrion Kross.
Karrion. I keep wanting to call him Killian, and that's not right. So I tried to fix it and call him the right thing, and I don't.
It's like Carry On Wayward Son. Carry on.
That's a good way for me to hopefully remember it. I'll probably fuck it up in 5 minutes.
Not bad.
I try.
But he's not going to fight him on his term. He's going to fight him on Escobar's turn. And he's going to be the one who decides this. Whatever. Rigo's like, yeah, no. You're fighting next week or you're going to be stripped of your title. So that's going to happen next week. It was supposed to be the main event tonight. And, so once again, didn't make any mention of the fact that he's actually stuck in Texas because of snow and power outages. But, whatever. They covered it up fine. Then we actually get in the matches of the night. We had Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell rematch against Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart. I thought this was a better match than their semifinal match. Semifinal? Yeah. Their semifinal match from the Dusty Cup Classic. Whether you love it or not, I adore Johnny's work as like the patriarch of this makeshift family. He even at one point tonight, because he was on commentary during this match, he even at one point tonight called Indy his daughter and Austin his son, which is fantastic. I just love that so much. They started off, all three of them came out to the ring with like missing posters like you'd have like on the back of a milk carton for Austin Theory, and they're passing them out to the entire crowd and it was great. So Johnny's on commentary. He's fantastic. The match was good. The match was better, I felt, than, like I said, to their semifinal match from a couple weeks ago. So that was good. At one point in time, Johnny actually called Indy Hartwell Indie Wrestling. Says she is Indie Wrestling, which I thought was a nice little dig there. It definitely was something that somebody backstage wrote and said, you have to say this sort of deal, because it felt rushed, but whatever. But they're going out on it. The match itself, while it was good, it was always kind of second fiddle to this ongoing narrative of Austin Theory being missing. There was a video that showed on the Megatron of this white van that was pulled up. Obviously, it was Dexter Loomis's van, and it showed up the video again later on. And then Johnny leaves commentary and runs off to go check out the van. And then they cut from the match to look at the van, and it really kind of degraded the match a little bit. But we've already seen this match 2 weeks ago. WWE very much on take-home shows, if they're not from big pay-per-views, and NXT probably pretty much all the time, they're very much the reset show. It's very much a more kind of mellowed out, lower the temperature before you get building for the next pay-per-view sort of thing. And that's what this show was, because this match ended with Johnny finding Austin Theory, who's been obviously brainwashed. He's now like zip tied, and he's wearing some vacation wear. He's got like a crop top that says vacay time, and he's in his boxers and flip flops with socks. And so him and LeRae both rush up to go check on Johnny, and Indy gets rolled up, and that's the match. But nobody cares because it's all about the Austin Theory storyline. So it's whatever. Quick promo after that with Pat McAfee on his private jet flying down to the beach somewhere, just saying how he was right about Cole.
He was. He
was. I love it too. I hope. As much as I dislike the idea of Pat McAfee in NXT when it first happened, I've warmed up to this idea if he's going to be a part-timer coming in there. Because, for one, he put the work in and he put out good matches when he actually did wrestle. And for two, he is and not just in WWE, I mean in general, if you listen to his stuff, he is very polarizing and opinionated, and he plays that heel so well. So kudos to him for that. I thought that was a good dig. Kushida said he's not done with Gargano. Bronson Reed comes up, and he still should be called Thick Boy. I'm going to keep saying that. Like, I don't know why they're going this colossal shtick. Thick Boy was great. But he wants a shot at Gargano too, so there's mutual respect or whatever there. Then we go to the next match, Swerve Scott versus Leon Ruff, and this felt like filler, like a son of a bitch. Swerve Scott, he had like such a good push when he first came in, and then they switched up his gimmick, and at the same time minimized his airtime. So I have no idea what his purpose is at all. Obviously talented. Leon Ruff ends up getting the victory, very similar to how he beat Gargano, which he's feeling like a one-trick pony. I don't know. This whole thing just felt like I didn't care about this. There was no storyline to it. It just was a match. So it was there. And then we had Casey Catanzaro and Caden Carter, who are getting a push, a legitimate push, against the Robert Stone brand of Aaliyah and Jessica Maya. I made a big deal about it last time. Jessica Maya's outfit much better this time. She didn't look ridiculous. I don't know why that bothered me so much, but it did. It just was so ugly.
It was, I agreed with you. It made sense.
It was so bad. But no, so this was a squash match of sorts for Caden and Casey, which is interesting if you've been following NXT for any amount of time, because basically during 2020, I think that Casey was like 0-26 or something stupid like that, and Caden Carter was not far behind her. They very much were, whether good or bad or indifferent, they were used as the squashies for a lot of stuff. So it's nice that they put in their dues to get in the push. That's how it should work in general. So they are getting a push, but the push is against this Xia Li angle, which is still confusing as all get up. So quick match, real fast. It was a couple spots were put in by Aaliyah and Jesse, but mostly it was just a show off of Caden and especially Casey's athleticism. They get the win, and then immediately they're confronted by Boa. I kept saying Bo something. It was Boa is his name, B-O-A.
Like a boa constrictor.
Like a boa constrictor. One word name. Like it's like Prince, like Chinese Prince. Wow. Sorry. Boa and Xia Li both come out. Yeah. So they come out in their full gear. So here's Boa looking like Neo from the Matrix, and Xia Li looking like she's straight out of Street Fighter, They come out and confront them, and Casey keeps talking about how they're just trying to be friends, and they're worried about her, and they're worried about her. They're just worried about her, and I'm gonna get to the point already. And then Xia Li takes her hand and takes Casey's hand and puts her two fingers across the back of her hand. Gives her the equal sign of doom, I guess. I don't know. And then tells Casey that next week she is going to purge her. I don't know if that means she's going to sound an alarm, and then it's for the duration of the match, 20 minutes or whatever, all a crime is legal and she can murder her, I guess. She's going to purge her next week.
What would, just like, match aside, like, what would your guys' reaction be if somebody said, I'm going to purge you?
I say, I'm going to call the cops on you.
I'd just be like, okay.
I mean, what do you say to that? That's just... Yeah. So she puts this mark on her, and like silly, just like she has two fingers in the soot. I mean, it did happen on Ash Wednesday, so maybe Xia Li's Catholic. I mean, not many Chinese are Catholic. I don't think. I don't know.
No, they definitely are not.
They're mostly Buddhist, I believe. I mean, I don't know. I don't know the cultural ramifications thereof, but she had, it was just like she had like just ink on two fingers or like, whatever. She just puts this like double slot across one of her hand, and this is next week I'm going to purge you.
Man.
Okay. Sure. So she's going to get purged next week, Casey. So look out for that. Maybe don't wear your light up mask and stay away from Ethan Hawke and whatever. Jamie is definitely not paying attention. He's texting because you could tell, because I've gave like 3 movie references in a row, and he's just like not even there.
Because this is just such a bad storyline. I'm sorry. Like, I want to engage.
Messages.
I'm like Maverick from Top Gun, not wanting to engage.
I'm
like,
trying to pull you in.
Doesn't look good.
Yeah, it doesn't, and it's here's the thing. It's like, so you got people that are finally getting pushes meeting up against each other. So I don't know what they're doing with this. We'll see next week. We'll see if she gets purged. Who knows? Then they had the Dusty Cup trophy presentations, which was one of the highlights of the show, I'll be honest with you there. So they had MSK come out at first. And interestingly enough, there's no separate trophies. There's just the one massive giant trophy. And on the nameplate, there's a men's side and a women's side. So I don't know how you feel about that, but it is what it is.
They each get a boot.
No, they each get their name on the trophy. I guess that's it. Maybe there's a male boot and a female boot.
Yes.
One boot apiece.
Yes.
You see here, this is the boot for the men's, and over here I have the woman's boot. It has got more of a heel on it. I'm terrible at impersonations if I haven't said that before.
That is weird though. Why only one trophy? Are they broke?
No, remember, WWE made more goddamn money last year than they made in their entire history. I keep
That's right.
focusing on this because there's definitely the budget for a second trophy. But maybe, I don't know, because it's the Dusty, whatever. I was focused on that for a hot minute because it did bother me, but I was like, I got to move forward. So we're moving forward here too. So
Please.
MSK came out. There is announced they're gonna fight on the 3rd, so 2 weeks. So the same night as Shaq making his AEW debut, because counter programming doesn't happen. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah.
They're gonna challenge Lorcan and Birch on March 3rd for the titles. They're still bad on the mic, but they weren't as bad this time. I will say that.
They were just annoying.
Not even that. They were just, you know, a little corny, if you would.
Like Baby New Day is what it looked like to me.
Sort of, yeah. They were a little bit corny. Less is more with them, definitely on the mic. But what they did coming up here, I loved. So Dakota and Raquel Gonzalez then come out, and MSK gentlemanly hold the ropes for them. They come in, and they get presented to, and while they're talking, of course, here comes Shayna and Nia, okay? So Shayna and Nia come in the ring. MSK holds the ropes for them as well, which I love the cheesy corniness of MSK a little bit. So they come in the ring, and of course they confront each other, and there's a little bit about, you know, they're basically setting up everything we said why this is a good matchup. They're basically saying out loud for the entire world to hear. Oh, we got Big versus Big. You've never fought us. You weren't in NXT, Shayna, when Raquel was here, or Raquel wasn't here when you were in NXT. And Shayna's like, oh, I broke your arm and made you cry like a little bitch. She and Dakota, and she's like, I'm not the same person. All the same storylines that's been said were said, including the official burying of Nia Jax's hole. Okay, so since the Nia Jax hole thing happened, and WWE tried to make it erase from its existence, and the internet said no, WWE has come full 180 and like, fine, you want Nia Jax's hole? We're gonna give you so much of her hole, you're gonna not know what to do with it. And yeah, because they made like 3 puns about her hole again, so that's officially dead. No more Nia Jax's hole, but we'll still hear about it for the next month on TV, just so you're aware.
Yeah.
But that's happening on the 3rd as well. So that matchup is happening on the 3rd, which, in a way, it's just classical WWE, because remember, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler are facing off this Sunday Elimination Chamber, probably the pre-show, against the so convincing #1 contenders for the women's tag team title of Lana and Naomi. And they have a great shot of winning now, don't they?
And if they win, I mean, I'm still not gonna watch Raw, but like, yeah, if they win, I definitely won't watch Raw. Like, there's no way Lana and them can win.
Or if they win, they're gonna give them back the next night.
Yeah.
There's no chance they're winning. There's no chance they were winning before. There's definitely no chance now. Whatever.
Would you say there's no chance in hell?
In hell, there definitely is no chance. No chance in hell. They've got no chance. What was great about this whole thing, okay? So the whole squabbling back and forth between the two female teams was a bit long, I felt. The whole, like, Nia Jax whole rehashing was a bit much. But what wasn't was that Beth Phoenix, who was presenting the trophy and introducing them, had retreated to the corner where MSK were, kind of like hanging out. And they were sitting there eating popcorn like they were watching a bad soap opera. and it was great. It was something that I didn't know I needed to have, and I love. And now I am now, even though they're still bad on the mic, I am on the MSK bandwagon officially. I'm there. Let's go forward, because it was a great little shtick. It's one of those things like you talk about the New Day. Like New Day, when they were starting to finally get over, because when they first debuted, they were terrible. That gimmick, because if you guys remember where they first became, it was like this like gospel man gimmick of and it just was bad. It was bad, and then they made that transition to be just the weird like they are, power positivity kind ofness, and that's when they start. That's kind of what I see with MSK. They're just kind of doing this weird shtick, and I love it. So, anywho,
I don't like him anymore.
Of course you don't.
I was all about MSK the other day. The popcorn ruined it for me. They're done.
Jesus Christ. Popcorn?
Wow.
That's it. No.
I mean, I was on the train. I'm still on the train. They might not be able to talk. It's fine.
I thought it was funny because they weren't talking. They were making them physical humor. All right. Hashtag popcorn and crossbody is now the thing.
Jesus.
Wow.
Popcorn?
Wow, Nick.
Popcorn?
Popcorn. Yeah. Popcorn. The popcorn put you off.
I didn't care for it.
We're talking about popcorn, man. Popcorn.
So we go back to looking out into the park. I gotta get off this because I just popcorn. Fucking popcorn.
I want to talk about Cameron Grimes.
Well, I'm going to.
Cameron Grimes. No.
Okay. All right. Okay. Oh, here. Before that, it comes in the look at parking lot. O'Reilly and Stronger arguing, and then we get Cameron Grimes once again. We get his Kiss My Grits video, but it ends differently this time because he crashed his Lamborghini, and he goes, "Well, gee, I didn't know how fast those things were. I guess you'll just have to get me another one."
Yeah.
And I love
I just like to see a guy living his best life.
I mean, for real. WWE management, please give Cameron Grimes a belt. I want Jamie in a Cameron Grimes shirt ASAP.
It's never going to happen.
You don't know that.
I do. You know why? Because Triple H is in charge, and he will do me right. He will do me right.
You have a lot of faith to a man who puts his life on 50-50 booking.
It's paid off. I'm just saying. So, fuck
all right,
Cameron
Grimes. We're still in occurrence. I love it though. We had one of our friends on Twitter was actually tweeting us about something and talked about Cameron Grimes, and he definitely was not on the same bandwagon as you. He was in on the.
I'm all by myself on this deal.
You're by yourself, man. I'll convert, Nick. I mean, we're going Cameron Grimes, man.
I like him out of spite.
I hate him out of spite.
That's a very Nick move. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, you hate him? Oh, then I fucking love him.
Even if he does crossbody, he's still gonna like him. Okay.
Oh, dude, if he did, that would be perfect.
He comes out eating popcorn, eating crossbodies,
eating popcorn while doing a crossbody. That's what I gotta see. Cameron Grimes. Okay. I might. Anybody who's artistic, we need a picture of Cameron Grimes eating popcorn, doing a crossbody. We need that yesterday. Next match was. First of all, you had a quick little look at. We asked what Io Shirai's next move is going to be. It looks like they're going to continue on with her and Toni Storm. Toni Storm interrupted her photo shoot, and I guess that's where they're going to go for now. Once again, I agree with you, Jamie. I think this is filler. I think they're basically saving the big push to be Tara Valkyrie and Io Shirai. That makes sense, but for the time being, Toni Storm's it. Then you had Kushida versus Tyler Rust, who, of course, is managed by Malcolm Bivens. I don't get Tyler Rust. Do you guys?
Nope. Sure don't.
I mean, he sounds a little oxidized to me, if anything. I think
you're reaching there, but okay.
Oh,
I got it.
No, I got it. I just
is a pun on rust.
I get that.
It was gold.
That was not gold. That wasn't even copper.
Oh, it's all rusted out.
I don't get it. I don't get his character. He never looks good. I don't know. Kushida beats him. Malcolm ends up being the one who actually verbally throws in the towel for him because he's got to protect his investment. It's whatever. This whole thing just doesn't work for shit. And once again, it's just kind of a filler for Kushida. Kushida's obviously going to be staying in the U.S. title hunt with now Thick Boy Bronson Reed. I'm gonna keep going with the Thick Boy because
we saw Thick Boy live.
He's good live.
Mm-hmm.
He's good in general. He is good. He's good. A good performer. He shows up. He has a great crossbody. So LA Knight, LA Knight gave another stellar promo from his house this time, quote unquote. Then after that, you had Zoe Stark, who debuted during the Dusty Rhodes Women's Cup tournament. And if you didn't see it, it's because it's on 205 Live, and nobody watches 205 Live anymore. Yeah. So I missed it. I'm familiar with her work elsewhere. She's been in a bunch of promotions. She wrestled at Impact a little bit. Every now and then she was in there. But she's been kind of in the indie circuit for a while now. She looked really strong. She was against this. It was a total intro squash match. I don't even know who she was wrestling. Valentina Feroz was their name. Sure.
Never heard of her.
Developmental talent. We'll see her probably in 2 or 3 years. But, which, hey, if you're listening, Valentina, hey, good on you. Keep working. Cool. But Zoe looked really good. She has a sick finisher. It's the Go to Stark. And it is a modified Go to Sleep. It is really good looking. Basically, instead of putting him over the shoulders, she has him kind of has her arm around her, and then will spin the person over her arm, kind of around like a cartwheel, like spinning around the arm. And she comes around. That's when she kicks her with her knee. It's a really good looking finisher. But she looks strong.
Twitter was ablaze about that finisher. Like, everybody's like, "Ooh, shit, that's awesome!" And I love it.
Good.
Yeah,
it looks. Yeah, it's one of those too that lends itself to some longevity because it doesn't require huge feats of strength. Like to go to sleep. You may mention this with Kenta because if you can't physically get the person up on your shoulders, it doesn't come across as well. But not this one. This was good. Squash mask, and then you had Karrion Kross and Scarlett do a quick little promo, typical promo. Meh. I don't understand the whole Escobar thing.
I don't get it whatsoever, and I'm okay with that because
I'm ready for it to be done.
Yeah.
Just move on to the actual point here with Karrion. It's like, just stop putting him in this shit. Then
I'm ready to see him back in action. I'm sick of the promos as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get it. Whatever. Yeah.
Whatever. So
Next.
we end the night with the main event, which was announced earlier. 6-man tag. Pete Dunne, Lorcan and Burch versus Finn Balor, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong. As you can guess, it was a good match. These people always put a good match together. There was very good spots. Roddy especially looked really strong. There was a great moment at the beginning of the match because whatever this match was doesn't matter for shit. The only thing that this is accomplishing is furthering this Undisputed Era angle and figuring out where it goes next in relation to Finn Balor. Everything else that happens around this match is complete filler. It doesn't matter for shit. But it was a very good match all over the place. At the beginning of the match, Kyle O'Reilly would not tag in Roddy Strong. He would just not tag him in. He'd tag in Finn. And then Finn would come over and look at Roddy and not tag him in purposefully as well. So once again, like my point from TakeOver is just focusing on Roddy. I think he's the linchpin of all this right now. I love how they keep playing off of that and like toying with his emotions as the guy in the middle,
Yeah, and to that point too, when they did their intro, he came out and did the Undisputed Era hands.
He did the Yui hands.
Yeah, and Kyle O'Reilly just walked in. And I'm like, to your point, he's trying to play nice with mom and dad. He's like, Mom, it's okay. Dad's just an asshole.
He was just wrestling with the secretary. Don't worry.
Yeah. She meant nothing, Mom. He tripped.
So, of all this that happened, Roddy was my favorite part of this match because of the way he is. For the longest time, before he joined the Undisputed Era, I remember we talked about this, about how wasted it felt like he was. He was in a mid-card hell, even though he was getting in like big matches. Just never get the chance, never get the shot at the belt, never get the title. It all changed in the Undisputed Era, of course. He became tag champion and U.S. champion, but his work has always been up there, and his character work has always been up there, and it just continues. And he is, I think, probably one of the more underappreciated. Not from the people who are running the stuff, but kind of in general, people don't look at they look at him. and they view him as just like, oh, he's the guy in the stable. He's not. He is very, pardon the pun, but he's very strong. He can hold his own. So
He is.
the match ends with, it ends with a very, how do I put this? You can see it coming. It was a very predictable ending of sorts. So the stairs had been dislodged. One of the sets of stairs had been dislodged, so just the bottom half of the steel steps were showing. And near the end, here comes Adam Cole. Adam Cole comes out, kicks Kyle O'Reilly in the face again, and then does a really hard, really stiff, what I thought hurt him more at first, suplex to Kyle O'Reilly on these steps on the outside of the ring. And I'll get to why that is not the case in a second here. But he does that, wipes out Kyle from the match. It ends up that Dunn ends up getting the win, and then that leads to them. They just leave. They're just like, fuck it, we're out. And, Finn Balor's in the ring, and then out of nowhere, Cole comes, super kicks him again, picks up the belt, holds it over. Now, after the match, there was rumors going around that Kyle O'Reilly had a seizure. Because one of the people, and Jamie talked about this very briefly, but at NXT, they are doing live. They're the only one of the WWE properties that has a live audience. It's mostly friends and family and a few select ticket holders, They get, podcasters, things like that, people who are friends of the company and close, whatever. But one of the people that was in attendance, it's not a lot, like it's like 40 or something, people, if that, spread out like a single ring around the outside. One of the people there had put on Twitter that he saw him seizing and put a picture online of him in the stretcher with Triple H around him. Now, kayfabe has always been put him in the stretcher. That doesn't mean they're actually in the stretcher. I mean, we've seen Braun Strowman drive people in on a stretcher off of a ramp, and Triple H or Stone Cold has famously attacked people on stretchers and whatever. But so there's Kyle O'Reilly is a type 1 diabetic. I don't know if people knew that or not, but he's
I did not know that.
He's a type 1 diabetic. One of those born that way. He takes insulin the whole 9 yards. So, especially when he has those longer matches, it tends to be somewhat of a concern because his blood sugar will drop, and that can be deadly. It can lead to seizures. So that's why people believed it. It was quickly quashed, though. He came out today and said it was not. He's like, I'm fine. I'm a little banged up, but I'm okay otherwise. Blah blah blah. But didn't need to happen, and unfortunately, it is what it is. But it was a very stiff suplex. The show felt okay. I mean, it wasn't bad. It was much better than Raw and SmackDown, of course, but it was very much in the mold of NXT after their pay-per-views. NXT does that where after the pay-per-view, it's like it's your time to exhale. So that first show is usually that exhale. Even though they have the higher ratings, usually the first show afterwards. So did you guys, I think, Nick, you didn't get to catch the show, right?
No, I caught it. I skipped the last match, to be honest with you.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay.
Just to be honest with you, the reason being is, you touched on it earlier. It's a WWE post pay-per-view night, and it's just it's typically kind of a rehash. It's like when you go to a comedy show on Friday night at 10, and then you check out the Sunday show at 5 in the evening. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what you get. So I didn't even bother.
Yeah, Jamie, what were your thoughts on NXT?
It was okay until Grimes came out.
He didn't come out. It was just a video.
Well, it was enough. It was enough. No, I thought I was expecting a little bit more out of the storytelling on the whole Adam Cole thing, but honestly, I'm kind of glad they didn't give me what I was expecting. They gave me just enough to be like, okay, this could turn into something. I don't know. I was hoping more for the show because it's a after pay-per-view show. Usually that's when they reset pretty hard. And I didn't feel like, I feel like they were just doing retellings of shit they've already done.
Well, there's a lot of fillers in there. You had there's fillers. You had Zoe do her introductory, singles match, and it was what it was. So it kind of reminded me. I had this thought because if y'all remember when NXT was on WWE Network, so before it became the USA, it was all pre-taped. They taped them in blocks, so they taped like 3 or 4 shows on like one day, one full day, and then that would take them for the next like month or so, and then the performers would be training or touring as part of NXT Live. When they did that, takeovers, the post-TakeOver show was always like one or two dark matches that happened around TakeOver and video packages. They never had a show. So like I remember tuning in, and it got me every time TakeOver would happen. So I'd tune on WWE Network, go to NXT on the next Wednesday, excited to see what's the fallout of this. And then it's like, oh yeah, I have to wait another week for it. It felt like that again, it's kind of that same feeling. So
yeah.
It was fine. It was fine.
Yeah.
But that was NXT. So I'm not going to go into match of the night because of the type of show it was. It had some good pops. It had some good stuff. I want to know what getting purged means.
You're gonna find out.
I'm gonna find out. If next week you see Xia Li murders Casey Catanzaro, well, I guess I'll know what purging means. And
as long as Boa the other person.
Sorry, Ricochet. Time to hop back on Match.com, I guess. Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, the only way I'll accept that is if Boa or the spirit lady person is like, finish her.
That would be. If they have a tie into Mortal Kombat, I will lose my shit.
Yeah. Hashtag trailer just dropped.
Nope, we all know how Jax lost his arms now.
I know. Watch the trailer for you who haven't. It's pretty good. So that was NXT. So we had AEW Dynamite and NXT. We're spending just a couple minutes real quick here. Jamie's going to run us through Monday at 7 Eastern, 6 Central.
Yes.
AEW is doing on their YouTube again the women's tournament. Jamie?
Yes. To be real brief with it, they are going to do the second half of the women's first rounds and then the semifinals of the Japanese side. So it is going to be Tay Conti versus Nyla Rose, which should be I'm calling that a banger because I really think they're going to be able to go. And then sleeper banger Britt Baker versus Anna Jay. I hope Anna Jay wins, but we'll see. And then in the semifinals for the Japanese side, I really don't care now since Maki Ito's not there. But Asia Kong versus Ryo Mizunami, which that is going to be stiff versus stiff, no selling versus no selling. It's like Vader versus Vader. And then the other one is honestly probably going to be the match of the night. I'm calling it now. I think this is going to be the best match out of all of them.
Of all four?
Yep, out of all four. Yuka Sakazaki versus Emi Sakura. The woman of 1,000 holds. So. Yeah, the woman of 1,000 holds, the Dean Malenko of the women's tournament versus Yuka Sakazaki, which I would consider the semi-high flyer type. So, kind of like a Lion Salt type person. So maybe the Jericho Dean Malenko feud of WCW days. Just saying. Just throw that out there. But it's going to be good. So this is what's going to happen. The winners of the United States side will face off against each other on the 24th Dynamite. So next week's Dynamite, those two are going to face off. They did not announce the date of Rio and Thunder Rosa, so I'm wondering if they're going to do another YouTube for them and for the finals of the Japanese. And then the final is going to happen on March 1st, more than likely, of the Japanese side versus the American
3rd.
side. March 3rd. Then
they already said, that the final of the tournament's going to be on March 3rd, and then the winner of the tournament's at Revolution, which is the 10th, I believe,
7th. It's like Wednesday to Saturday. Yeah. So bam, bam.
7th
Sunday,
at Revolution is when they're going to fight. Wow, Shida. Hey,
yeah, Shida.
Her. So yeah, there. I wish it would be more forthcoming with the schedule because
it's been convoluted and messy. It's just been weird. But I think now they're finally getting some dates out there, like with this Monday, and then the winners of the United States side will face off on the 24th. I hope they do Rio and Thunder Rosa on the same show because then they can just make it the whole thing and just get it done. And then we can set up for Monday because the Japanese side can also do it. I think they should just do them all on Dynamite. Just to be honest, I mean, honestly, they'll show the Japanese one, but they'll probably end up doing a YouTube with it. I don't know.
YouTube. I mean, if it comes down to it, because it's still uneven, they might have to do the women's other semifinal or maybe on Dark. I don't know.
I don't know. It deserves better than Dark.
It's convoluted for everybody, so we don't really know, except for the fact that the final is going to be on the March 3rd Dynamite, and at Revolution, the winner fights Hikaru Shida.
Yep. So, any predictions on those real quick?
I'm sticking with Tay Conti and Britt Baker. Is who I'm sticking with. Tay Conti, I think, is once again. They've been big on her. She's been on a winning streak. She's looking increasingly better. The storyline is good in that this was her intro match in AEW. She came out and got beat by Nyla Rose, but it wasn't a squash beating. So I think there's potential there. I think that Yuka Sakazaki is she's my default. She's my now pick to go all the way.
Same.
I think it's gonna be her. And the student beats the master. And down below, I'm gonna go with Ren Kanakura.
She's not in it.
Whoever's fighting, Ryo Mizunami.
Yeah, Asia Kong and Ryo Mizunami.
I forget. Oh god, I'm terrible at names. Yeah, whoever Asia Kong is fighting, she's going to be the winner.
Ryo Mizunami, the short blonde haired one. Yeah.
Oh, I did see somewhere that tomorrow somebody's doing an interview. I can't remember. I think it's Fightful Select doing an interview with Maki Ito and talking to her. Apparently, the teaser that the dude dropped on Twitter was that she's open to working with AEW and the Dark Order. And I'm just like, ooh, I want to hear this interview. So,
me too.
After you guys listen to this podcast, go check out Fightful Select as well. Tell them we sent you. But yeah.
All right, Nick. I know you just like picking one. I'm going to make you pick all these.
It's tough, man. I'm leaning towards Tay Conti, but my gut's kind of telling me to go a different direction. It's too easy, but that's where I'm leaning. Thunder Rosa's real strong, but I don't know. That's kind of where I am right now.
Make a choice. Do it.
Who's the one that beats... Who was the one that won that first match last week?
The
Yuka
Japanese
Sakazaki?
side?
Yeah.
Yuka?
I like Yuka.
Okay. So you like Yuka over Emmy. What about Asia versus Ryo?
Oh, Ryo for sure.
Okay, Britt Baker, right. Anna Jay?
I'm going to go with Anna Jay on that one.
Ooh, and then Tay Conti over Nyla Rose is what you said.
Did you go Tay Conti or did you flip? Because you're flipping flopping there.
I am. I was going Nyla Rose, but I'm... Like I said, man, my gut's telling me no, but I'm leaning towards Tay Conti.
Get on the Tay train. There we go.
My mind is telling me no.
Yeah.
But my body.
Oh, God. Jamie's loopy. All right.
Yeah, all right. But seriously, I think it's going to be Tay Conti winning, but I do think Britt Baker's going to win because they're going to set up for the rematch of Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa. I mean,
it looks that way. It does.
So obvious. And then I like Asia Kong just because it seems obvious right now. So, and the problem is we went with all not obvious picks last time, and then Yuka Sakazaki. I definitely agree. I think those are my predictions. My bracket was destroyed last time, so it might get destroyed again.
So they'll probably all lose. Everybody who he just mentioned is probably going to lose. So. Congratulations to those others.
Kiss of death. All right.
That's why we love AEW.
So,
all right, well,
one thing I did forget to mention, and I want to make sure you guys, I don't know if you saw this all over the Twitters and everything, but good old JR called Kenny Omega the WWE
champion. Yes, he did. That was great. It was right before they went to the video of the package. It was like, wait, what? Did I just hear that right? What?
Yeah, that's my it factor of the week. If we
that's your it factor of the week there. Oh God.
So
Nick,
I'll never do
it.
But whatever.
Cameron Grimes, man.
Fuck you,
Cameron Grimes, man. Cameron Grimes.
He took that Lambo for a ride.
He wrecked it, but he's got the money to buy another one.
I like how he's just shook it off like it was nothing.
He's just gonna throw it in the he's gonna throw it in the gutter and buy himself another.
Well, shucky ducky, I just go straight to the moon. Once again, I am terrible with impressions.
That's perfect because it sounded terrible, and that's what he sounds like.
My in factor of the week is my newfound love for MSK and popcorn.
And popcorn and crossbodies.
It crossed.
I'm sorry, the popcorn thing was great. There's fantastic memes about that too, about them and Beth Phoenix eating popcorn, watching the drama. I loved it. Screw you guys, it was great.
I enjoyed the popcorn scene. I'm not a hater of popcorn.
I know. Nick's fury is just getting me riled up here. So.
Nick Fury, nice Marvel reference there.
Dude.
All right, well, let's wrap this thing up here. So thank you guys for listening with us here. Once again, we are back every Wednesday and Friday with a new podcast. Fridays tend to be the AEW and NXT. Wednesdays are going to be more on WWE and goings-on around the wrestling world. This next coming week, we do have Elimination Chamber. Are you guys going to watch Elimination Chamber this weekend? Be honest.
No.
I don't know. No. I've never liked a single elimination chamber.
I'm going to probably, because once again, I am a sadist, I'll probably have it on in the background while I'm doing,
that's probably what will end up at my house, but I don't want
I
to.
say that, which means that, yeah, I'm going to watch it. So,
yeah.
So anyway, we'll talk about Elimination Chamber in WWE next week, Wednesday. We're available, as always, on all of your favorite podcast locations, Apple, Amazon, iTunes. iTunes is Apple. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. iHeartRadio. That's what I was looking for. There you go. Pandora, Google, all of them. Plus, please check us out on our YouTube. That is just going to YouTube and search for Total Spotcast. I did it again. That's 2 weeks in a row. Total Spot. It's getting late, guys. Total Spotfest live.
You got this. You got this.
I don't think I got it, man. I don't know. I didn't even work today. I had the day off. I went and got my COVID vaccine, and then I just, I slept until noon. It was great. Went and got my shot, did some errands, got a good bike ride in. I have no reason to be this loopy, but whatever. So YouTube, check us out on YouTube, guys. Total Spotfest live. You can also please communicate with us on Twitter. It is at Total Spotfest. Once again, at Total Spotfest. Give us a shout. Give us a comment while you're on YouTube. Please give us a subscribe. If you want to communicate with us individually in all of our videos, we do have our individual Twitters. So if you want to tweet at Nick and tell him how great crossbodies are, you will be able to find his Twitter handle and let him know. Hashtag crossbody.
I mean, I suppose you could.
You definitely can. That's my mission for the weekend.
You should.
That's my mission for the weekend. All right, Nick, any final thoughts? Any final words to the peoples?
Man, nah. I'm just glad we wrapped up a good week.
All right. Yep, same with you there. Jamie?
Well, I got to say like I always say, if you're not down with TSL, I got 2 words for you. Kennedy!
It'd be nice if you switched it up and got Kennedy Anderson, but okay.
Oh, man. You've made me cough on that one.
All right. We're going to leave you on that. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.